This withdrawal agreement took 3 years to negotiate, and we worked relentlessly on it, line by line, word by word, and together we succeeded. And the result guarantees our citizens' rights, financial interests, the integrity of the single market, and crucially, the Good Friday Agreement. And the European Union and the UK jointly agreed it was the best and only way for ensuring peace on the island of Ireland. And we will never backtrack on that. And this agreement has been ratified by this House and by the House of Commons. It cannot be unilaterally changed, disregarded or disapplied. This is a matter of law and trust and good faith. And that is not just me saying it. I remind you of the words of Margaret Thatcher. I quote, "Britain does not break treaties. It would be bad for Britain, bad for relations with the rest of the world, and bad for any future treaty on trade." End of quote. This was true then, and this is true today. The pandemic and the uncertainty that goes with it is not over. And the recovery is still in its early stage. So our first priority is to pull each other through this and to be there for those that need it. And thanks to our unique social market economy, Europe can do just that. First, Europe must continue to protect lives and livelihoods. The second promise of the social market economy is that of stability. And the third enduring promise is the promise of opportunity. All this will ensure Europe gets back on its feet. While much of the world's activity froze during lockdowns and shutdowns, the planet continued to get dangerously hotter. We longed for green spaces and clean air, for our mental health and our physical well-being. We know change is needed, and we also know it is possible. The European Green Deal is our blueprint to make that transformation. At the heart of it is our mission to become the first climate-neutral continent in 2050. The European Commission is proposing to increase the 2030 targets for emission reduction to at least 55%. That this increase from 40 to 55 is too much for some and not enough for others. But our impact assessment clearly shows that our economy and industry can manage this. Next week, the Commission will put forward its pact on migration. We will take a human and humane approach. And there are principles. Saving lives at sea is not optional. And those countries who fulfill their legal and moral duties or are more exposed than others must be able to rely on the solidarity of our whole European Union. We will ensure a closer link between asylum and return. We have to make a clear distinction between those who have the right to stay and those who do not. We will take action to fight smugglers, strengthen external borders, deepen external partnerships, and create legal pathways. And we will make sure that people who have the right to stay are integrated and made to feel welcome. They have a future to build and skills, energy and talent. Honourable members, be it in Hong Kong, Moscow or Minsk, Europe must take a clear and swift position. And I want to say it loud and clear. The European Union is on the side of the people of Belarus. The people of Belarus must be free to decide their own future for themselves. They are not pieces on someone else's chessboard. And to those that advocate closer ties with Russia, I say that the poisoning of Alexei Navalny with an advanced chemical agent is not a one-off. We have seen the pattern in Georgia and in Ukraine, in Syria and Salisbury, and in election meddling around the world. And this pattern is not changing, and no pipeline will change that. Turkey is and will always be an important neighbor. But while we are close together on the map, the distance between us appears to be growing. Yes, Turkey is in a troubled neighborhood. And yes, it is hosting millions of refugees, for which we support them with considerable funding. But none of this is justification for attempts to intimidate their neighbors. Our member states, Cyprus and Greece, can always count on Europe's full solidarity on protecting their legitimate sovereignty rights. De-escalation in the Eastern Mediterranean is in our mutual interest. The return of exploratory vessels to Turkish ports in the past few days is a positive step in this direction. This is necessary to create the much-needed space for dialogue. Refraining from unilateral actions and resuming talks in good faith is the only path forward, the only path to stability and lasting solutions.